And in this episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast, we're talking to my man, Mr. Alex Schultz, who is the CEO and co-founder of 4OCEAN. And in today's episode, we talk all about how 4OCEAN got started, the impact that it's having, how you can have a positive impact on the planet by making small changes to your everyday reality that have a massive compound effect. We're going to be diving into this episode of the Happy Hustle Podcast. Do you want blissful balance in your personal and professional life? Great. What's up, guys? My name is Kerry Jack, and I want to help you happy hustle a life you love, one full of passion, purpose, and positive impact. I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur, a professional model / actor, a digital marketing specialist, a podcast host, author, a biohacker, an eco-warrior, a martial artist, a hippie cowboy, and a humanitarian. My goal is to educate, inspire, and entertain you to live a life of passion, purpose, and positive impact. It is time to happy hustle your dream reality. Yee-yee. All right, Alex Schultz, welcome to the Happy Hustle Podcast, my brother. I am super stoked to rock the mic with you in person.
In person, baby.
Let's go.
Yes, fired up, man. Thank you so much for having me. Stoked
Dude,
to be here.
thank you. I mean, this whole thing right here is happening because you gave me the recommendation, this epic studio.
Yeah.
And here we are doing it live in Florida, right
Love
near
it.
4OCEAN headquarters.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, speaking of 4OCEAN, you are the co-founder and CEO of 4OCEAN, which has pulled 40 million pounds of plastic. That's 40 people from the ocean.
Yes.
And you're a licensed boat captain, you're a husband, you're a father.
Yep.
But most importantly, you're a happy hustler.
That's right.
Let's go. We're going to
That's
talk
right.
about that and much more. Before we get into all that good stuff, man, what is something interesting about Alex that not too many people know?
Woo. Something interesting that not too many people know. I think that a lot of people see the different aspects of ocean cleanup and different things that I do out there, on a day-to-day basis. But I think not too many people know like that really was like how I was like brought up. I spent all my time on boats, on the water, on the ocean. Became a licensed captain at a young age. I'm constantly like buying and selling boats and tinkering, and like that was my passion, right? It's like buying and selling and fixing up boats, and just spending time on the water. I think that's one of the main things that I did, and that's where I really got the entrepreneurial bug. Was like as a young kid, like just buying a boat, fixing it up, and then selling it, and kind of working my way up, and just spending time on the water.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Buy low, sell high, people.
Buy low, sell high. That's
we could end it here.
Yeah,
and just
that's it. That's cut. That's all the information.
Well, I want to fast forward to one of my my favorite moments with you because for those people who don't know, we're bros. We've camped out in the Florida Everglades together, the Montana wilderness together.
Yep.
Been on ocean cleanups together.
Yes, sir.
And most recently, we went to the UFC 299 together.
Yes.
Thank you for the tickets.
Shout out
again.
Dana.
Yeah, shout out Dana.
White.
Dana, shout out to you, brother.
Yes.
Because I know you're boys with Dana, and he's a big fan of 4OCEAN. And
Yes.
you guys have a UFC partnership going on right now. But, man, what a great night going out to UFC 299. I think Sean O'Malley was fighting as the headliner with Chito Vera.
Yeah.
What a great card. I mean, we were sitting literally next to Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Logan Paul, Grant Cardone, Gary Brecka, Damon John, like the who's who. Dana hooked us up. Like we were in front of a lot of these celebs.
Yeah.
And here we are, just a
who are these
guys?
guys? Who are these chumps? Yeah. No, it was awesome, man. Dana's awesome, dude. He's been such a big fan. He's taken care of us in so many different ways. And that was awesome to be at the fight, me and up there, seeing it firsthand.
Dude, we're gonna get some B-roll from that fight.
Yes.
We got some epic footage and man, good times. And what I love about that experience is it showcases the value of doing good in the world.
Yeah.
And how someone like Dana White really respects you and 4OCEAN and your whole team to another degree because you guys are doing work that is actually making a net positive on the planet.
Yes.
And I just feel like more businesses could incorporate the triple bottom line.
For sure.
Right?
Yep.
People, planet, and the profits.
Yes.
Speak to just the power of the triple bottom line in business today.
Sure. I think it's something that nowadays consumers are coming to expect it, right? They're coming to demand it.
That's true.
And I think that a lot of businesses, there's been pioneers in the industry. You think of Patagonia, really, and Yansha really being like kind of the industry leader in that sense. Blake Mykoski is another person I really look up to and what he's been able to do with the 1-for-1 model.
Yeah.
But there's been so many businesses now that are coming up, and they're proving the model that you can have a successful business, you can create amazing full-time jobs for people all around the world, and you can do that successfully as a business, right? So people, planet, profit. And 4OCEAN has really been focused on that ever since the start. Like that is the core DNA of what we do, right? Is trying to clean plastic from the ocean and create these jobs. And so I think other businesses now are starting to realize that in implementing some form of sustainability is good for their business.
It is.
Right? Like so many people think like it's way too expensive. We don't really know what to do. We don't know where to start. But we've realized that partnering with different businesses, which is why we've started our B2B offering, partnering to offer sustainability programs. Businesses are learning that it increases customer sentiment. It really helps out with their employee morale. It helps out with their bottom line.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to do good things for the planet. So like that's something that we're really fired up on and trying to get more businesses involved with that.
And again, the ability to do good is so good for your bottom line.
Yes.
Like not just the ability, but the actual, application of using the triple bottom line strategically in your marketing campaign. Like a lot of entrepreneurs watch the show. That's why I love to talk business, especially with the CEO and co-founder of such a massively successful organization doing the triple bottom line at the highest degree.
Sure.
You guys are a B corporation as well.
Yep. Certified B Corp and a public benefit corporation.
Right.
Yeah.
Two separate things.
Two separate things.
Yeah.
So just to give a little background, because a lot of people, they're not too familiar. So Certified B Corp is a certification by a third party. This is by B Lab. This is a third-party nonprofit that goes in, and man, oh man, do they audit every single thing. The policies, your processes, how you leverage and utilize your profits. Like it's huge in terms of how it took us like 2.5 years to get it.
Damn.
Because when we started, we were a startup, right?
Right.
And in order to get the certification, you've got to have like so many policies in place, and how do you handle this process? And there's no stone that's unturned.
Right.
So the Certified B Corp is a certification by a third-party nonprofit. Public Benefit Corporation is actually the way that our entity is structured. So it's a C Corp, but it's a public benefit corporation. This is just like what Patagonia has done, Ben & Jerry's. And what that is as an LLC, you are legally obligated to provide shareholder value. That is like how LLCs are typically operated, right?
Right.
And so what happens is if you start making decisions that are not in the best interest of shareholders, in the best interest of the business and the bottom line, then you are legally, like, you're liable for that, right? So for a public benefit corporation, what it states is that it is a business that is doing some form of impact or some form of good.
Yeah.
But what it does is it creates a clause where the impact can be held in the same regard as the bottom line. So we did that because, if we ever sell the business or anything happens, no matter what, the business will always deliver on what we started it for, is delivering that impact. So a public benefit corporation is literally the way that the entity is structured. So much different. It's not like a certification you can just go and get very quickly. We literally changed everything about the way that our entity is structured.
Yeah. And that is a key distinction, the difference between being a B Corp and, a certified, what was the?
Public Benefit Corporation.
Public Benefit Corporation.
Yep. PBC.
PBC.
Yep.
So for entrepreneurs out there who are like, man, I want to incorporate the triple bottom line in my business. I want to become potentially a PBC, a public benefit corporation.
Sure.
What do you recommend for doing so with the least amount of friction, if they're already established? Because I think starting from the ground up, obviously it's a lot easier to build the processes, to be like, hey, we're going to only use sustainable practices. And everything's very transparent with those organizations.
Yeah.
But let's say someone out there, they already have a business.
Yep.
What is the most efficient and effective way to transition?
So I think one of the main things that you want to do is kind of get the roadmap. So like in order to go with a certified B Corp, they'll give you a list of exactly everything that you need to do. And so whether you're starting a new business or you're trying to convert your current business, they're going to kind of do a little audit to see where you're at and just give you kind of a playbook and like a roadmap. And so you can start to look through that and understand, like, is this in the cards? Can we afford this? Can we really allocate that level of resources to this project? Because like it's huge, man. Like shout out D Vandy. There's a guy on our team. Yeah, D Vandy.
Let's go.
He I got him a cake. I literally like, dude, he was the project manager on the Certified B Corp. It took like 2.5 years, literally.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I'm not kidding. I literally got him a cake. I was like, dude, I will get you a cake if you do this and we finish it. And he did it. We got the certification, and I got him a cake. So it's just a funny backstory, but like, it's very intense, man. Like from start to finish, all the stuff. If you can get a playbook, you can kind of map it out. Same thing with a public benefit corporation. You're going to want to get some advice from a tax perspective, because I'll tell you right now, like from a finance perspective, LLCs are way better for like business owners, right? There's so much more benefit in terms of taxes, in terms of personal compensation, all that stuff. But like public benefit corporation, like it's not just like, oh, let's test out. Like you got to be all in.
Right.
So that's the one thing I would say is do your research and understand like, you know, the different implications from a tax perspective. And if you're truly like really ready to go all in on the impact aspect, then definitely look at that roadmap and you can kind of lay it out and see what you would want to do.
Yeah. Again, key distinction. Like you got to go all in. This isn't something you just, you know, dip your toes in the water.
For sure.
You know, this is like a complete culture shift as an entity, as well as a tax-wise. There's a lot of implications. So you got to be strategic. Speaking of going all in, you guys have been going all in on cleaning the ocean.
Yeah.
40 million pounds, dude.
Yes.
Like, that's insane. That's a lot of plastic.
Yes.
Show people the bracelets. I know you're rocking them. I got a bunch of them at home. Of course, I didn't wear one today.
No worries.
But talk to us a little bit about the business model that supports the actual cause of cleaning the ocean.
Of course. So the business model for the product side of our business is pretty simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
What we do is we have full-time captains and crew that are out there on the ocean. We collect plastic from the ocean. Yep. We recycle it into products, and then we sell these products to then fund additional cleanup.
Boom.
So it's a very straightforward process. The cord is made from recycled polyethylene terephthalate or plastic water bottles, and then the beads are recycled glass bottles. And so, you know, it's a product made with the plastic and materials that our captains and crews are collecting. We're selling it. It's a great reminder. You know, we say like this is your symbol of a commitment to a cleaner ocean, right? Like it creates a community, and that's one thing that I'm really, really big on is like trying to develop a movement, a network of people.
Yeah.
You know, we say this a lot, and this is like when we started the business, it was very intentional, right? Like, and I bring back that like fixing up boats and stuff, right? So this ties in. So when we started, we were you know, building our fleet and kind of hiring captains and stuff, and everything we did was very intentional. So like I wanted to create something that people would look at from an aspirational perspective. Yeah. And so like from the paint schemes to our boats to putting light bars on them to like literally getting the paint scheme to be more of like a Coast Guard with our you know, signature stripes and things like that. So the idea and the concept that I had is like we're trying to make cleaning the ocean cool.
Heck yeah.
We're trying to make sustainability cool because like the reference that I always give, like, you know, what do you think about when your local municipality like trash services comes by your house on Mondays and Thursdays? You don't really notice it, right?
Yeah, not much.
It's a service. They come, they pick up the trash can, they go, and they process your trash and your plastic. But when people drive by in a canal on a 4OCEAN boat, people come running out on their docks. They're like, yo, what's up? This is so cool.
People are stoked.
We have people, literally kids, like say, dude, when I grow up, like I wanna clean the ocean. And so like that for me was like a big win because it's like, okay, we're trying to create an aspirational brand. You know, I think in different parts of the United States and all over, it's still hard getting buy-in in terms of the plastic conversation. Now we're starting to gain a lot of traction, a lot of momentum. Yeah. But like from when we first started, the business model was to leverage a product, create a community, and create this viral movement of people that wanted to keep the ocean clean and they're passionate about like, you know, the world that they live in. So like that's how we started, and the product is what started it out. So we started with the 4OCEAN bracelet, and we've expanded into like apparel and, you know, other sustainable alternatives like cutlery and bags and things like that to cut down on plastic consumption. But we recently launched our partnership business. Yeah. And so this has been a big thing for us because, you know, I'm fired up on working with businesses to try and shift how they are viewing plastics and what they're doing with their programs to try and help have a positive impact on the ocean. So like, you know, some of the core offerings that we do are like plastic offsets. So we work with brands to calculate the amount of plastic that they're using in their products or services, and then we'll remove an equivalent amount of plastic directly from the ocean. So basically kind of carbon offsets, but for plastic.
Got it.
Now, this is not a silver bullet, get out of jail free card, you can do anything,
Right.
but it's a step in the right direction. It gets brands to start thinking about it. It starts financially incentivizing them to shift the packaging materials that they're using and looking at more recyclable options.
Yeah.
And what they're finding is that there's so much more buy-in from their customers, and they're getting more positive customer sentiment. They're getting more people fired up on sustainability as a whole, and it's doing amazing things for their business. And we're working with them to market the impact that we're having with that. So like that's one of the things. So it's like plastic offsets. We do a pull a pound partnership. So just like the promise for every product that we sell, we remove 5 pounds of trash from the ocean. We offer that to businesses. So we got brands that are like, selling shampoo bars, like Kitsch. They're selling shampoo bars, and for every one sold, they're removing plastic from the ocean. Or we even have like electric outboard companies that are, for every motor sold, they're removing 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a 1-for-1 model. And then we have the certified cleanup partnership, which is more of like a sponsorship activation where anybody can just decide the amount of plastic they want to pull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the partnerships play, I really am glad that you guys have made that pivot and really allocated resources to that pivot, because that's cutting off the tap.
Yes.
At the source.
You got it.
Right?
You got it.
Pulling plastic from the ocean, obviously great cause and really important to then recycle it, upcycle it, will you, into something of value, these bracelets.
Yeah.
But when we're talking like the real problem is,
yeah,
these corporations that have massive amounts of plastic waste.
Yes.
And if we don't change policy or change practices at that level, you'll be cleaning up the ocean for life.
We're sitting on a treadmill.
Right. There's a treadmill.
We're sitting on a treadmill, man. We clean the most polluted beaches. We get them pristine, and literally, like, we'll work our butt off. Like, I'm talking months in the hot sun.
I've seen it.
We'll get it pristine. The black and white, like, kind of before and afters, and it's so crazy. And then you'll have a huge flood and a huge rain, and all of a sudden it'll reset. Yeah. And so, there's an analogy that I love. It's basically, if you walk into your kitchen and the sink's overflowing, what are you going to do? Are you going to grab a mop and start mopping, or are you going to turn off the tap and shut off the source and then start cleaning up? And so a lot of people, we get a lot of slack. Like a lot of people, they're like, hey, you guys are just wasting time cleaning, and like we get a lot of haters, right? People are just like, you just clean, you shouldn't be doing that. You should put your resources towards the top. And the one thing that I do believe is, just like those paint schemes and just like the intentional, design of the boats and things, we have to create a movement. Right. Like, we have to get people on board with this. Exactly. Because you can sit there and try and go all the way to the top and just, hammer it down. But like, one of our core values is nudge, don't judge. Like, we really don't believe in the fact of shaming, finger pointing, and just being like, I can't believe you're using plastic. You guys suck. That's not how we roll. What we do is we try and show people the impacts that plastic's having on the ocean, look at what they're doing on a day-to-day basis and how they can personally have an impact on that, and really just come at it in a more calm, cool, collected way of like, hey, these are the things that are happening. Here's what you could do to change that. Do you want to be on board? Do you want to kind of join the clean ocean movement? Yeah. And so what we find is like, you really do attract more bees with the honey versus vinegar, right? For sure. And, we're not one to take hostage of stuff and fly flags and throw blood on people. Like, that's not our style. Yeah. We think that, conservation, I personally, I really feel that conservation can be handled in a way that people will be receptive to it. Right. Because I think historically, a lot of people are just like, man, that's crunchy granola, like, get out of my face, stop judging me, like, and that's historical, right? Going back 30, 40, 50 years. And I think the big thing is that cleaning the ocean, we're trying to be more inclusive. There's so many things in this world right now that are divisive. True. Especially in this day and age in the United States. Like, we're trying to bring people together. And the one thing that we do know is that everybody can appreciate a clean ocean. Heck yeah. Everybody can appreciate a clean ocean. It doesn't matter what side you're on, what your interests are, what your gender identity. It doesn't matter. You are super, super aligned with the fact that we want clean oceans. Yeah, and that is such a great point just for entrepreneurs at large to make your vision big enough that everyone else can fit their goals and dreams and aspirations inside of it as well. Yeah. I know Ed Milet talks about this in his book, The Power of One More. Yep. Shameless plug to him. But it's about setting the right vision as an entrepreneur so that people can get on board with it, right? Yeah. And like, it's a no-brainer. Who doesn't want a clean ocean? Who doesn't want to take their kids to go swim at the beach and not have plastic? Who doesn't want to see dead fish? Yes. I mean, who wants to see dead fish? Yeah. Or exactly. Like
dolphins or sharks
Yep.
or animals or
Yep.
turtles, with straws up their nose. Like,
Yeah.
it's a mission, a cause that everyone can rally behind.
Yes.
Now, I think there's a group of people that also, like you said, there's haters in every capacity.
For sure.
That once you get some level of success, they just poke holes. They do what they can
For sure.
to, bring you down to
Yep.
their level, right?
Yep.
They
Always.
say hurt people, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
How have you been able to navigate those choppy waters, pun intended?
Sure. I think at the end of the day, man, it all just comes down to just really standing behind what you believe in. You know, I think there's certain things that can happen. And listen, we've made mistakes. We've done some dumb things in terms of like, we grew so fast. We grew so quickly.
Yeah.
It was like insane. The
Rocket ship.
first 3 years, I think we went to like 200 employees, and
That's insane.
in the United States. Yeah, here in the States. And so there were things that happened in terms of like marketing messaging and some other things where people put out videos or we got slammed, I think, for one video in particular. Like we had our cleanup vessel, and like, there's so many lines of separation between, like, for example, like a video editor and then a sound person, and they hire a contractor and they do this and this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, one of the phrases that got put out there is we put out this boat, and like as an example, we were talking about the fact that 80% of plastic comes from rivers, right? And so like that was just one example where in the sound bite that happened in the video that went out, it had said that like this boat is going to single-handedly stop 80% of the plastic in the ocean.
Oh, jeez.
And so like, so that was like not something that we intended,
Right.
but it was something that got out there. We were putting out dozens of videos a day. Like it was insane, dude. I mean, we had like crazy amounts of videos going out there. So, and that was an example of like, you know what? Hey, we messed up. That was something that we 100%, we're not trying to make a claim that one small vessel can stop 80% of the plastic, but that's just an example of like where we got tore up for that. And so I think it is just going back and kind of owning up to it and saying, hey, this is an apology. Like we did not intend that. The idea and concept is 80% of plastic comes from rivers.
Right.
But that's just an example. And like, we've gotten people like that. A lot of people hated on the fact that, we've had a for-profit public benefit corporation.
Right.
A lot of people have been very frustrated at that. And at the end of the day, I think one of the main things that we've dealt with is that, you think of a business like Tom Shoes. There's like little to no one that has ever been like, hey, why isn't Tom Shoes a nonprofit? Like, this is crazy. And one of the things is like, not many people donate their time on a Saturday morning to go donate shoes. Right. So like, there's a big disconnect in terms of that. Whereas cleaning the ocean, almost everybody associates like, oh yeah, that's a Saturday morning beach cleanup. Like that's a nonprofit. So that was something that we had to work through. But I think at the end of the day, like, it just comes down to what you believe in, man. Staying consistent, staying true to your values, staying true to what you're trying to represent, and really just staying focused on what your big and long-term vision is for what you're doing. So I think that's been something that, like, you're going to get random stuff. It's going to happen. What do they say? Like, if you don't have haters and you're not doing something right, like you're going to always, no matter what, you're going to have people that are going to try and put you down. They're going to poke holes, and they're just not going to like what you're doing. But you know what? I'm not here to make friends with everybody. I'm here to clean the ocean. I'm here to clean plastic and try and change that trajectory. And so if I make some people that don't really like what I do, that's cool. Then I have no problem with you, but do your thing.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there's a saying as well, like, when you're everything to everyone, you're actually nothing to no one.
That's exactly right. 100%.
So you got to find your people in business, your tribe, and serve them all out. But for the others who aren't in your ICP, ideal, customer profile or whatever you can call it, ICA avatar, you just let them do their thing and
let it ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be Teflon. Let that shit just flow right off.
100%. 100%.
Well, I know there's a bunch of people out there probably right now going, well, this sounds great to become more, eco-friendly per se, and regenerative and sustainable, or even, a public benefit corporation.
Sure.
But I'd rather just leverage 4OCEAN's brand power and partner and explore one of these options.
Yes.
Where can people go to explore those partnership options and walk us through what that process looks like?
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's a great topic, and one of our core values is progress, not perfection. Right. Like the idea of like, I'm going to commit and go all in and be a public benefit corporation, certified B Corp. Like that's a lot of businesses are not ready to do that.
Sure.
Right. But that shouldn't stop you from taking that first step.
Right.
And so one thing that we're trying to do is encourage as many people as we can to get involved, whether that is implementing some form of sustainability program, cutting out plastics in their manufacturing, in their products, in their daily use, in their offices, things like that. It's these little wins, man. Small acts add up. And
Yeah.
so for us, that's one of the big things. So like to partner with 4OCEAN and kind of leverage the platform and the brand that we've built, what we do
Which is massive, by the way. Let's not just
I appreciate it.
Well,
I
no,
appreciate
I mean, what do you have? Millions and millions of followers online, huge email list.
Yeah. Collectively, we're at about like 11.5 million across everything, from followers and newsletter subscribers, about 11.5 million. Yeah.
And that's a huge boost for these partnership businesses that do join the 4OCEAN family, right?
Yes.
Because they can use it as marketing assets, which is good for the bottom line.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I just want to make that point
clear.
clear.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're very fortunate. We've had some amazing progress on social and
Your dog went viral.
Dog went viral.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Good. R.I.P. Lila. Shout out
Lila's
Lila and
a
Mav,
G.
man. Yeah. Those are my black lab and chocolate lab from college. I taught him how to dive and had a video of my black lab catching a lobster go absolutely viral.
It crushed.
This
How
is
many
nuts,
views
dude.
did it?
I lost count at billions. And I know that sounds crazy, but like this was before Facebook like made the changes.
Yeah.
And like it was on Today's Show, Good Morning America.
I saw it before I knew you.
Dude, it was like I lost count on Facebook because there are like so many videos where it's like, okay, I just saw this one on like Cheddar that had like 280 million. I just saw this one in the 300 million. It was like, dude, it was nuts. That Lila was famous.
Lila crushed.
Lila, yeah.
All right, sorry to get you off.
No,
track,
you're good. You're good. But so yes, the platforms. We've been fortunate to grow a following. We try and leverage that to push sustainability.
Right.
But for brands that want to get involved and they're nervous about starting or they don't know where to start, what they'll do is they can go to 4OCEAN.com, they can fill out a contact form, get in touch with us. What we'll do is we'll set up a call. Ahead of the call, we're going to provide them with some resources, an overview of how our partnership programs work, how they potentially activate, showing examples of how they've come to life and like testimonials, case studies, and all the different partners that we have. And so they can see some of the marketing campaigns. And like, we really just try and give them a blank canvas that they can paint on and say, you know what? I do have this product that I would love to actually pull trash from the ocean for everyone that's sold, or we would like to go plastic neutral or offset our plastic footprint. Yeah. So we'll send those resources ahead of the call. Then they'll get on with someone and just talk through what are their goals, what are they trying to accomplish, like what are they intimidated by, and so our team is trained, working with them on trying to help them optimize their sustainability goals. We'll look at everything. We work with various different people to help look at packaging, to look at the products that they're putting out in the world so that they can not only clean plastic from the ocean, but also be proactive and looking at how can they implement more sustainable solutions into their business. And so we call it kind of like a white glove sustainability service. It's like a sustainability service in a box. We want to be able to help these brands who don't know where to go. We don't want them to go hire a chief sustainability officer and spend a ton of money that they don't really know what the path is forward. That we can get involved with them and show them what to do very easily and at a very affordable rate for them to kind of stair step it in. We've got like the lowest options as far as like it's called EcoDrive, which is a platform on Shopify. Yeah. Anybody can go download the app. Like if you're a Shopify-based app or any of these other platforms, you can go and put the marketing tile, no-code marketing tile on your site where your customers can pull pounds during checkout in a matter of minutes. There's no obligations. They can cancel at any time. There's no long-term investment. All the way up to the large partnerships where we're pulling millions of pounds together and doing huge activations across the board. So it's the idea that, going back to our conversation of turning off the tap, I really do believe that working with businesses is going to have a massive impact on the amount of plastic entering the ocean. Yeah. Because like at the end of the day, I say it a lot that these corporations are producing plastic for brands and brands are producing plastic for consumers. Right. So if we as consumers can vote with our dollar, we're going to shift the demand and it's going to have that trickle economic impact where people are going to change the materials that they're manufacturing, the products that they're putting out in the environment, and we can commoditize this entire process to be able to create those financial incentives for people to make the right choices in terms of sustainability. Yeah, and it all starts with the consumer and those dollars as votes. Yes. That right there, I just want to, again, make sure that's a soundbite. You know, you out there listening and watching right now, you hold the power with your purchase. Yes. And I mean, you just got to be conscious. Like look into, and oftentimes it is more expensive, let's be honest, to support companies doing business the right way. Yes. But it's worth it in the long run for your children and their children. And, I know there has been some really great companies that have signed on board with the partnerships. Give us some name drops, just some of the new partners that have come on, because I want to highlight these companies that are doing good in the world. I mean, sure, man, these are big companies. Sure. So we've got some amazing partners. We've got some different groups out there. Sea-Doo has been an amazing partner. US Polo, Corona, Barbie, T-Mobile. Who else, man? We've got some
Jeep,
just Jeep,
UFC,
UFC,
Garden of Life, right? You
Garden of
told me,
Life,
yeah.
yep, Garden of Life and Nestle Health. We're talking with Chomps about to pull a ton of plastic from the ocean.
Nice.
There's just been so many awesome partners that are helping to drive it forward, man. It's been incredible.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And that, again, whether you're a company,
Shout out Good Pop as well.
Pop too, yeah. But it doesn't matter what size your company is.
Yes.
There's a tier that you can be a part of the solution.
Yes.
Right. And start to think, okay, how can I, support cleaning the ocean and ultimately do business with the triple bottom line.
Yes.
And
honestly, it's not only just these large companies. Like those were fortunate to partner with these big brands, but majority of our businesses are small to mid-sized businesses.
That's good.
You know what I mean? A lot of them are entry-level kind of sustainability programs where they're like, hey, we want to get involved, but like we don't have Fortune 500 budgets and things like that. So majority of our businesses are small and mid-sized companies, but we also do have those top-tier clients that we work with and we provide these services to. But at the end of the day, man, I don't really care the size of the company.
Yeah.
I just want to help you guys implement sustainability solutions, and I'm trying to employ our captains and crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because you guys employ captains and crews all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a headquarters in Guatemala, in Bali, and you're changing people's lives. You're giving them jobs. They were fishermen from your origin story that I recall, you basically traded in their fishing pole for
correct.
A net to pick up ocean plastic.
The idea was pretty simple. We realized that the plastic pollution problem in Bali and Indonesia was crazy. So for anybody that's not familiar with how we started, Buddy and I went on a surf trip to Bali, saw crazy amounts of plastic. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the photos, but Kuta, just outside Denpasar in Bali, all these different coastlines in Bali get loaded with plastic.
Right.
And so we realized that these fishermen were spending all their time on the water and literally pulling plastic out of their nets. Like I'm telling you, like it's a common sight to see fishermen like loading up these big seine nets and all these trawler nets and dumping huge mounds of plastic on the other side of it. I mean, it's getting caught up in their props. It's getting caught up in everything. Like it is a huge issue. So we just thought about it. And like I said, backgrounds and growing up a captain, my buddy's a captain as well. We literally said, like, can we just pay these fishermen to collect plastic from the ocean instead of fish? Like, this is crazy. Like the fact that nobody's, doing anything about this on a scale that like to really have an impact on the plastic in the ocean here.
Yeah.
And so we just came up with the idea of like, can we now employ captains and crew to no longer catch fish, but to fish for plastic? And so that's how it all started.
Yeah.
And that's how it all took off.
Whoa. Apologies for interrupting your programming. But I have to tell you, the best investment you can make in yourself is one in which helps you acquire skills. You've probably heard people talk about, just invest in yourself and you'll be successful. Yes, that's true to a degree, but you have to invest in skills that will ultimately help you achieve your desired results. And I think one of the best skills one can possess, be it an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, is the sales sword. Really knowing how to sell, utilizing pressure-free persuasion, which will make you more money and more impact. Now, if you want to know how to sell more efficiently and effectively, I just launched a sales course called The Proven Roadmap Process to Selling Millions of Dollars and helping you to increase your conversions guaranteed. And you can get access to this new sales course that The Happy Hustle is launching at thehappyhustle.com/sales. And if you act fast, you'll get it at the lowest price it'll ever be available, because we are launching it and we want to gain amazing testimonials and social proof to further share this knowledge. So if you act fast, you can get it at the lowest price it'll ever be. That's at thehappyhustle.com/sales. Now let's get back to this episode.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Hit us with some plastic stats, because I think there's a lot of myths per se on like plastic's lifespan, how much of it actually gets recycled or upcycled. Hit us with the truth, the real stats.
So it varies so much by different areas, and I think that one of the things is there's a lot of people that are trying to shut down recycling, and each person you talk to is going to have a different mentality on it, right, and a different outlook. One of the things is that there is this fact of 7 to 9% of plastic actually gets recycled. And I do believe that statistic
What is it?
7 to 9%.
7 to 9.
Yeah, so only
not much.
Yeah, single digit amount of plastic gets recycled. Now, the one thing that I do want to say is that I do believe that there's people that are trying to undermine the industry, and they'll say like, okay, well, consumers are now assuming that only 1 out of 10 bottles that they put into the recycling bin is actually getting recycled. That's not necessarily true. That is the difference of 7 to 9% of total plastic in all production around the world, right? So you're factoring in like automobile parts and tires and all this other material, whereas like the plastic that's going into your bin, your commonly used items like PET, the plastic water bottles, your HDPE, the laundry detergent jugs, your polypropylene, all the different rigid plastics, like those items are highly, highly recyclable, and they can be turned into other products. And so, you know, what we try to encourage everyone is like, look for the items that are more recyclable. You know, like there's an example of different legislation that I believe needs to happen where like brands will utilize certain forms of packaging to get a competitive edge. And thus by doing that, they've made it completely unrecyclable.
Right.
So let me give you an example. They'll take like a drinking bottle, right? Or some type of package. And they'll put this really shiny, amazing logo on there that has some form of film or PVC. So now you've taken this material that if it was a single stream material that could be recycled, you've now mixed it where it's almost nearly impossible to separate those. Like someone has to sit there and physically remove each one of these things in order to do that. Because to recycle effectively, you've got to sort and clean thoroughly. And so nobody's going to do that. So like now it's like, cool, we put a little shiny label on here, but now it can't be recycled. And now it's going to go straight to landfill or incineration or potentially be exported. So I do believe that there's a lot of work that needs to be done across the board. But, you know, plastic production is increasing at an exponential rate. Like it is literally exploding in production. And so if we don't do something now to have more of an impact on this level, there's going to be, the oceans are going to get filled with so much more plastic. Landfills are going to get overrun. We're going to continue exporting a lot of plastic. And it's just something that is not sustainable long term.
Right. And for the lifespan number, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like most plastic has a 600-year lifespan. So it's going to outlive you, me, our next 2 generations,
correct,
3, 4 generations. You know, it's crazy.
It's insane, man. It's wild. When you think about the different materials, it all depends. Each one has its own lifespan, but depending on the conditions that it's in and like if it's being broken down by UV rays and like slowly becoming brittle and falling apart. But plastic doesn't break down, it just breaks up. Yeah. So it'll just break up into smaller pieces. But there's some plastics that'll last, 5-10 years and others that will last hundreds of years.
And I heard that we as, humans are eating a credit card a year or something of plastic, probably way more, right?
I do believe it was estimated a credit card's worth a week.
A week?
Of microplastic.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude. It's insane. And plastic has, it's an endocrine disruptor. There's the PFAS. Like, it is a serious, serious topic that, microplastic, it's found on everywhere, right? It's found on Mount Everest. It's found in the deepest trenches.
Milk,
in breast milk, absolutely. Yeah. Microplastic is a huge issue, man. It's in the food we eat, and it is having a massive impact on the health of humans.
Mental health, too.
Yes.
Right? Yep. That's what people don't like. They don't get the correlation of, I open this ho-ho and it's got this little film and that's going to the landfill, which will never be recycled. Yes. Let alone, will outlive us 6 times over. Yeah. And then we eat so much plastic. Yes. Not just consuming it, from fish and from other meat, but we're just like, it's leaching into our water.
Well,
right?
One big thing that I'd say, yes, there's 2 things that for me that I really notice that I try and talk about a lot is like, number 1 is water bottles. Like when you heat up plastic, that is the worst thing you could ever do. So like, and that's actually in a similar vein of the 2 items I want to talk about, but like plastic water bottles, like left in your car, like left in the sun or heating up, like it is terrible. Like that is the worst thing you could do. Yeah. The same thing with reheating your items in plastic. So that's another thing that glass is the way. Any of your Tupperwares, any of your plastic styrofoam containers that you're bringing back, like any plastic that you're putting in the microwave and heating up is terrible. It's leaching plastics. Yeah. Avoid it at all costs. I tell everyone, put it on a plate, put it in ceramic, put it in a glass jar, like all your meal preps, you try and
put
use
on the
glass.
stove.
Put on the stove, exactly. You've been trying to avoid the microwave, but any type of heat with plastic is a terrible outcome.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like unavoidable.
So the thing is, like, it is unavoidable, and like I understand, like that exhale, like it can be overwhelming.
It's a little bit.
It can be overwhelming, but the thing is, I can tell you this, like I am like almost to a fault optimistic. Like I am just a very positive
good.
person,
Yeah.
and I'm always trying to
Me
see
too.
the light in it, right? And I think that one of the things is like it's easy to get overwhelmed with some of these different things, but like if you just kind of stay mindful of it, you try and avoid these different items and just do your best, right? Just try and do what you can.
Yeah.
It can be less overwhelming, and you can still make a lot of progress in some of these topics.
And the truth is, like, you make one shift and it has the compound effect for
Correct.
life,
Yes.
right? So you're saying to your wife and, or your husband, we're not buying plastic water bottles anymore, honey.
Yep.
And it's like, boom, that one decision
Yes.
has changed your whole trajectory for your entire family.
Yep.
And now you get a couple bottles of plastic or I mean, I got,
Reusable
like
bottle.
the
Yeah, yeah.
Nalgene,
Yep.
like, a heart, whatever that plastic is. I'm
Yep.
sure that leaches too.
Yeah.
But glass bottles, and then there you just cut off that one issue that rippled into every other component of your life.
Yeah.
So it's like, my wife calls me the delusional optimist at times.
Yeah,
for
I
better
love
or
it, dude.
worse,
I love it.
But
Yeah,
I hear
yeah.
you. Like I'm always looking at a glass half full kind of guy, right?
Yes.
And I see this in a similar light, especially with the work you guys are doing. And there's other companies out there supporting missions similar.
Yeah.
Not just for the ocean, but just at large, planting trees. And
Yep.
it's like there's a green movement right now that is really not at odds end with anyone's bottom line.
Yeah.
It is the next generation of consumers actually require it
Oh yeah.
for
Demanding it.
their dollar to be spent with
Yes.
your company or organization. People care more than ever. So it's good for business to make these, shifts.
It is. And going back to that term of like, consumers vote with their dollar. That
Yeah.
is such an important topic
It is,
because
yeah.
what we're realizing is that, you mentioned it as well, that sustainability at times is more expensive, right? And so what we really need is mass market adoption.
Yeah.
And so if we can get consumers to vote with their dollar, the demand will be there and we will be able to offer these sustainable alternatives. Like, for example, like compostable solutions. Right now, a lot of them they're pretty expensive. But if everybody's demanding that versus this polystyrene, styrofoam containers that break up and get all in the ocean,
Right.
then there will be more companies, there'll be more competition, there'll be more people offering this product, and then they'll be bringing down that price. And I do believe that like the government should have some factor into there because we're giving subsidies to so many different things that I do believe that there should be some sustainable based industries that have some form of incentivization because
Has to be.
man, oh man, like
It's like solar.
it's like exactly. We got to find some means to help out to cut down on the waste materials because I'm a firm believer as well that like it shouldn't be a consumer's responsibility to have to be an expert and know all this stuff. Right? Like, like I'm a little
It's unreasonable.
It's
to ask
unreasonable.
that.
Yeah, like I'm a little different than most people. Like a tip that I tell everyone is like, dude, I carry around a bunch of compostable clamshell to go containers, right? So like when I'm going somewhere, instead of them giving me that, if I know like, hey, we're gonna get something to go, I'll bring it in and just be like, hey, can you mind putting in this? And they'll do that, and they have no problem with it.
Yeah.
But like most consumers aren't gonna do that, so we need to move the needle in the sense that now these appropriate options for sustainability are available to consumers so that when they're at that store or they're at that event or something, they're not sitting there feeling guilty like, oh, they're going to give me all this stuff in plastic. It's kind of like, oh, well, yeah, I'll take it to go. No worries. I'm not even thinking about it, but this is compostable.
Right.
It's literally home compostable. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not going to be polluting the ocean or end up in a landfill or incineration.
Small changes.
Small changes.
Make a big difference.
Yep.
It's even with our clothes that we wear. Most of the stuff we wear is plastic.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
And you think about making, shifts towards bamboo or, sustainable cotton.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Organic cotton is
cotton.
the real deal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, again, it disrupts your hormones,
Yes.
your endocrine system, your sleep. There's just so many benefits to going green
Yep.
in many regards.
Yes.
I mean, I hope everyone out there feels a little more inspired
Sure.
from listening
I hope
to
so.
this. And I want to highlight 4OCEAN in many regards, but also I want to highlight you as the co-founder and CEO and a lot of our audiences, entrepreneurs, and aspiring entrepreneurs looking to build something that has passion, purpose, and positive impact. Like these 3 Ps, they're cliche AF, but they, passion like
no,
that.
dude, they mean everything.
Right.
They like that's. I just want to pause on that because a lot of people say like, oh, cliche. This. No. Like, dude, purpose, passion, and positive impact. Like, purpose and passion, I cannot tell you.
Yeah.
That will change the trajectory of your entire life.
Right.
Like, if you are not fully bought into what you're doing, and mind you, dude, we've gone through hell and back. There's been amazing highs. There's been incredible lows.
Right.
If you do not truly care about it, if you do not have that purpose, if you don't feel like this is what you were meant to do,
Yeah.
you're not going to last.
You're not gonna make it.
You're not going to make it.
You ain't gonna
dude.
be happy hustling.
You're not going to be happy hustling.
No.
You're not going to enjoy it. But I know, I just wanted to call that out because, like, I don't think it's cliche, man. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you don't feel that you have your purpose and passion and be able to have a positive impact in some way, shape, or form on the world, you got to rethink kind of what you're doing.
Amen. And
Yeah.
let me define terms. So for me, passion, inward calling on my heartstrings, like either something that pisses me off to the ultimate, like plastic did you, or, you know, something that you just, a cause that you really can rally behind, right?
Yes.
Purpose is more that outward serving mission. Who exactly you're serving? For you, you're serving the ocean, right?
Yes.
Which in turn, as a byproduct, serves everyone else
For sure.
on the planet. And then positive impact, like actually making a positive impact, not negatively exploiting the earth's resources or people negatively, right? And just doing it for the right reasons, you know? So I want to, you know, give clarity. I think the 3 Ps, it's a part of happy hustling at the highest of levels. So very important that you had that vision when you were starting this company. But now I want to fast forward, man. You got a wife, you got 2 kids, you just had a newborn,
Got a
2
newborn.
sons, cute
Yes,
as
sir.
shit,
Yes.
those little dudes.
Chase and Connor, man.
Dude.
Shout out Virginia.
Yeah, and I got, you know, a son, Kaizen, which we're both like weathered fathers right now.
I know,
didn't
right?
Sleep for shit.
Yes, dude, 100%. It's been a long day.
Little dude is up. You know, it's like as entrepreneurs, man, with as a father, as a husband, you know, then you have hopefully some semblance where you're fit, you know, you're more than fit, you're ripped, but like keeping your mental health sharp as an entrepreneur, imperative. Then having like some things, passionate hobbies is what we talk about. You know, I know you're in the Happy Hustle Club, man. You're part of the fam. You've been on the masterminds. You know what we preach is these 10 alignments and really like prioritizing life so that you can, again, systematically harmonize ambition and well-being, right? So I want to just hear like, how do you happy hustle on the day-to-day? What do you do? Is there anything specific like that has been a trigger to say, hey, I might be out of balance right now. I need to get back to homeostasis? Because I know you've made some shifts in these past, you know, couple years. Give us a little insight.
Yeah, that's I think for me, a few things. I think the fitness routine has been such an important thing for me.
Yeah.
I think, you know, this is something that I try and stay on every day. And you know, we can get into it in terms of the health stuff because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on behind the scenes from a health perspective.
Yeah.
But with the workout routine, it's so important. Like, and I don't do this to try and like look good, right? It's not for vanity. It's not for like how you look on a beach. Like, it is for me to maintain and regulate my health. I'm going through an autoimmune disease and a lot of things that have been happening. And the health has been the number one thing and the working out has been the number one thing helping me. But I think that there's a lot of things that I try and do. I try and work out every day. Like whether that, you know, I try and get a good workout in. And that's typically like, you know, I'll run, I'll lift, run or cardio, I'll lift. I have a sauna and a cold plunge, which like I've been doing it for years and I just love it, man. Like mentally, it'll just reset you. It's so good. And I know there's a lot of people that are like, you know, the biohacking industry has kind of gone nuts and stuff. And a lot of people, you've got haters, you got people that love it. And at the end of the day, man, I just think it feels great. And so I enjoy it. But the one thing that I would tell everybody, you know, there's a buddy of mine, Matt, who talked about this, and I thought it was so impactful. It's you got to understand, you know what your ceiling is, right? What's your ceiling? All right, I worked out like crazy. I ran, I lifted like crazy. I sauna, I cold plunged like 3 times. I did my meditation, did red light therapy, did all this stuff. Like, you know where your max and your ceiling is. Like, okay, like I'm done for the day. Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But you also got to know where your floor is. You don't have to do this crazy workout. Like, what is it? If you're behind, you got the kids, you're trying to feed them, you're late for work. Like, hey, can you do 25 push-ups? Can you do 10 burpees real quick? Can you get some blood flowing and just do something?
Right.
Because some form of activity, man, I've gone through some tough stuff between my health, between the business. Like, it's been very depressing at times, and you can get sucked into a dark area. But like, if you will just stay on it. And go for a run, get outside, get some sunlight, get some exercise, just get moving, do something in some form. You can kind of snap out of that kind of mental sludge and you can really get back on your A game because for me, it's happened a lot across the board. And I think the exercise routine has been huge. I think trying to disconnect and spend time outdoors, spend time with my family, trying to put down the phone. I can't stand phones, man.
Yeah.
The social media, what is done to the world is it is a disaster. And I'm terrified of what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years of kids.
Especially for our kids.
ADHD, just the different problems that are going to develop, the insecurities because of these damn machines.
Yeah.
But I think it's so important to get away from the phone, to chill out, to try and decompress. I try and spend as much time as I can on the water, but also just trying to find time for the family and the personal hobbies and things like. It's happy hustle, man. It's literally the mantra that you preach. And I think that the workout thing has been huge for me on a day-to-day basis, but also the purpose and passion at work. Like I enjoy what I do, man. I'm stoked to do what we do on a day-to-day basis, and I feel good every single day walking in, understanding there are at times a lot of stuff that I don't like to do. Right. But you know what? We're doing the right thing, and collectively it's having a much bigger impact. So I think that's the big thing driving it forward. Yeah.
I mean, when you have, again, your cup full, you can pour from your overflow.
Correct.
And I think, again, as leaders, sometimes we give to our clients, we give to our families, we give to our friends, we give to our colleagues.
Yeah.
And then there's not much left to give to ourselves.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's this broken paradigm.
Yeah.
And that's why I burnt out.
Yeah.
And that's why it sent me on this journey to even create the Happy Hustle, to write the book, to do the podcast, to, build the masterminds, all the stuff, just to be a beacon of, hey, this is not how you do it. And this is maybe a better way.
Yep.
Check it out if you want.
100%.
And it's fast forward, now we're doing the company happiness program, and really infusing this ethos into corporations to ultimately increase company happiness at large, but employee engagement and decrease churn, which are the two biggest, oftentimes, issues in any business. I'll hit you with some stats here because I'm curious to get your take.
Yeah.
So 2 out of every 3 employees are said to be disengaged and unhappy, according to Gallup's Daily Global Workplace Study.
Believe it.
To take it a step further, 34% of a disengaged employee's salary is said to go completely wasted, meaning you'll never get ROI on it.
Yeah.
It's paying someone 100 G's, you're wasting $34,000.
Yep.
And then $400 billion in the U.S. workplace alone goes wasted due to disengaged employees.
Crazy.
So you think about quiet quitting, or people are mentally
checked
not
out.
there.
They're just checked out.
Physically, they might be sitting in their chair, but they're not there.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm curious, knowing this is a problem, and knowing I'm sure you've experienced it, because you've had a lot of employees.
I think every business has. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing to combat employee disengagement and ultimately churn?
I think one of the main things that we're trying to do right now is we're actually moving from our office, and we're actually getting a new kind of spot, a new location. I think that's been one thing. We signed a lease, right? We signed a lease, dude, a month and a half before COVID hit.
I know. I remember when you told me that. It couldn't have been worse time.
Couldn't have been the worst time. Dude, we've taken some waves on the head, I can tell you that. But we're finally getting out of this building, and getting into a different space. We're trying to just come at 2025 with a new reinvigorated form of culture, with
awesome.
Getting people out on the water, doing our ocean first cleanups, having these team meetings and team retreats and things like that. And I think we still have a long way to go. I think we have a lot of things that we need to do, but it's tough, man. When you think about a hybrid work schedule and trying to create that culture with people that are on the other side of a computer screen, and you can't afford to fly everybody out every week or every month. It's tough, but I think that it's one of the things that is so crucial nowadays with different employers and different locations, but trying to find people that are engaged. And for us, the mission, we've got a great team. Yeah. We've got a great team, man. Everybody works so damn hard. They're all so passionate about what we do. And I'm so proud of the team that we have right now. And we're teeing up. I'm so excited to go into 2025. It's about to be an unbelievable year. Yeah. We launched the 501c3, so that's scaling. We've got so many cool things, amazing things in the pipeline. Yeah. And I'm just excited at the culture that we're going to create together. Because you kind of have these different evolutions, right? You go through different periods and times in the business, and we're coming up on 2025, and I'm just fired up. So I think that's something I'm really excited of getting our team together, more events, more mission-based activities, and getting more people involved in that perspective. Yeah,
I love it, man. It is tough with a hybrid workforce, to keep people engaged. One of the things that we're doing with the Company Happiness Program is incentives. So monthly giveaways, prizes, bonuses based on their Happy Hustle scores.
Yeah.
And, really
however you do it, you
Yep.
just got to show that you give a shit to your
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Retaining and gaining top tier talent really comes down to I care.
Yeah.
As a leader. And so that's why I
Yep.
wanted to ask you as a leader, because I know you care for your people,
Yeah,
and I know
yeah.
you've built this great culture. I mean, obviously nothing's perfect in any
Sure.
company, but it's like being able to show that you care, show that not just you care about like the bottom line and what they do, but also their personal life.
Yeah.
As a leader, you have to be empathetic and
Yeah.
be that example too, right?
Yes.
So I just think that's really a great point. Man, awesome chatting with you. I want to respect your time, but I do got to hit you with some of these rapid fire questions.
Let's go. Let's rip it.
Where's the best place before I do, just to kind of point people in the direction? Is it 4OCEAN.com? Or,
Yeah. 4OCEAN.com. They can follow us on socials, just 4OCEAN on Instagram and all the different channels. My info is Alex J. Schultz, SCHULZE. They can find me on Instagram and all that type of stuff, but we'd love to connect with anybody.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right, so I always just like to rapid fire some random questions.
Let's let it rip.
So this is, first thing that comes to mind, and
Sure.
you just, let it go.
Let it rip.
All right.
Okay.
You ready?
What do you got?
Okay. Favorite food? Go.
Favorite food, I would say right now is chicken. It's all I can eat. Chicken.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, Forgetting Sarah Marshall's a good one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Favorite book?
Favorite book. Honestly, man, that's a tough one. I'd say, you know what? I don't have one.
What was the first thing that came to mind? I'm not accepting
So I hesitated saying it because there's these old book series by this guy, Randy Wayne White. So shout out Randy Wayne White. It's like a nonfiction series of like a charter fishing guide over on the West Coast, and he's like
Let's go, Randy.
like a marine biologist, and it's like a really cool thing. When I was young, that was the books I read. I loved them.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You were reading that. I was reading Captain Underpants.
There it
so,
is. There it is.
goosebumps.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Oh, man. All right. Best business advice.
Best business advice. Dude, going back, purpose and passion. If you don't have purpose and passion, you're in the wrong business. I mean, if you're looking to start something and go through the ups and downs, and you want to do something that you want to be in as a legacy brand or legacy project, and it's not just like this, work for a few years, and sell it. If you don't have purpose and passion, man, you got to change your course.
So true. If you had a billboard for the world to see with your last piece of content on there, what's that billboard read?
I would say, typically I would say the ocean, but I would say preserve the environment for future generations. I think that's something that's important to me.
Yeah.
Taking care for us, for future generations, for our kids, so that our kids and their kids can experience the awesome things that we did, man. Coral reefs, the amazing surf breaks, those tropical, beautiful beaches. I'm focused on the ocean, but I'd say the environment as a whole.
Yeah. Happy hustle hack for your health. I know we talked about it, but give me one that's uniquely Alex that maybe you don't talk about too much.
So something super unique from a health perspective. I mean, obviously, like the working out type stuff. A lot of supplements, just staying healthy. But yeah, really, it's like the S's, right? Like sun, salt, sweat, supplements.
Yeah.
Just the S's. That's kind of like
Sex,
what I.
no?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering.
Got to make the kids somehow, right?
Yeah, right. Right. The stork? No?
Yeah.
All right. So money, happy hustle hack for your money. Something you do to maybe save, invest, spend wisely. Got anything there?
So for me, side hustles, flipping boats, man. Buying and selling boats, working on them, and just find a little hobby. I enjoy it. I love it. So I think for me, not only just your work, you want to be fully committed to your work, but like you got to find the balance on the weekends, or you got to find the time that like you want to disconnect and do something else. And this might sound crazy, but I love the quote. Focusing on one task in itself is therapeutic. And that for me is what working on boats is. Whether I'm redoing fiberglass, rewiring boats, reinstalling electronics, like it's just something that I can really hone in. There's a start and end to the project. And I would recommend anybody find that like second project, little side hustle, fun thing that you can do as a hobby that you can enjoy, that can give you that release and that step away from the madness that everyday life is as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. How many boats you sold?
Man, it's funny. I should have said this because my wife asked me the other day. I think I lost count. We're like in between 40 and 60, approximately. But mind you, these are like starting out like literally when I was 7 years old, like buying little like aluminum John boats and little skiffs and little canoes and like. But I've worked my way up over the course of the past 25, 30 years, and I've done all sorts of stuff to big twin engine center consoles and stuff like that. Fun fact though, I actually thought I was convinced I was going to be a yacht salesman or like a boat broker.
Yeah,
I was like convinced, and then ended up going down this path, this journey, and was like, dude, I'm here for it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
One pro tip within that happy hustle hack, people, is invest in something that you know,
Yeah.
right? You know both inside and out. You know a good deal from a bad deal,
Yeah.
right? So that's why that side hustle works
Yes.
as also a profit generator. Oftentimes, side hustles can cost you more if
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't
Oh, yeah.
invest in something you know.
Yes.
All right, happy hustle hack for your spirituality. Maybe something you do to connect to a higher power.
Yes. So I'm a big fan of the priming session. You know, I got introduced through like a Tony Robbins type thing, but I think just at the end of the day, gratitude's the attitude, man. That is a huge thing that I do. And I love the exercise in the morning of like, you know, I just think about what are 3 things you're grateful for? What are 3 things that you want to heal, work on, or improve? And then envision what are 3 things that you want to accomplish. And I just feel like setting yourself up mentally for that in the mornings, like after a workout, after you do all that stuff, dude, you're just ready to take on the day and you just come out of it with such an amazing positive mentality.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Attitude of gratitude. I love it. All right, final question of the rapid fire round, which
Yep.
is 3 things you're most grateful for today.
3 things I'm most grateful for today are my wife and my kids and my family. I'm so blessed, so fortunate to have 2 happy, healthy boys. My wife is incredible. She's amazing, my rock. I am very fortunate for the team at 4OCEAN. Everything we've done from our whole employees, our captains and crews, everybody around the world, we've done amazing things. And then lastly, I'm grateful for the progress that I've made with my health. I've gone through some very difficult stuff over the past 5 years that I haven't really talked about, autoimmune diseases and a whole bunch of stuff. And it was looking pretty bad. And I was definitely getting some shock factor and some very scary things from doctors. And it scared the shit out of me, I'll tell you that. But I've been making some amazing progress and managing to be, making a lot of positive headway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just want to shout you out on that too, because I know some of the stuff behind the scenes, man, and the fact that you've been able to just show up without mentioning it is like, it's warrior status, man. You really like,
Appreciate it.
You're powering through, you know, and it's not easy. Like to do what you're doing, your rigorous schedule, running a massively successful 8+ figure a year company, just, you know, not to mention a nonprofit, but not to mention people's relying on you with your team, you know. I mean, it's, dude, being an entrepreneur is a beast. Then being an entrepreneur as a husband and then as a father is a beast. Yeah. And then having your own shit and your own health complications, man.
Yeah.
For you to hold it together, man. Seriously.
I appreciate it, man.
I see you, bro.
I appreciate it.
And speaking of which, I do want to acknowledge you too for just sharing your love, your light, your wisdom with the Happy Hustlers today. And, you know, really just giving us the truth of, you know, how we can basically use the triple bottom line to win in business and to also like spread our message and to infuse the passion, the purpose, and the positive impact to ultimately become the happy hustlers that we desire, right?
You got it.
Dude, I appreciate you. You're doing it at the highest level. You're doing it with heart and conviction. And I mean, I'm here to support you and however I can, man, and bro out as much as we can in the woods whenever we can.
Yeah,
you know,
you're the man, dude.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on here. Like, you know, I the happy hustle mentality is something that I really locked in on, and yeah, also just a shameless plug for the masterminds, dude. That for me was like huge, dude. Like to anybody hesitant, like seriously, look it up. You know, the happy hustle masterminds, these retreats, going to the woods. You lose your phone. You get out there with a bunch of people that are awesome, good human beings. You're doing really cool stuff. You're camping. You're learning crazy stuff from Scout, SEAL, snipers, and all sorts of stuff. And shout out Mark. And you know, you're just doing awesome stuff. Like I had such a blast, man. That was 5 days in the woods. You know, not only just like, oh, we're going on vacation and stuff, but like the session sitting as a group and truly like, you know, hot seat, going through what issues in your business, what are you trying to do with relationships, like what do you need help with, and getting that constructive feedback from a group of individuals that are going through similar things. Because I will tell you, there's so many people out there that it's hard to truly express what you're going through. Yeah. Because, you know, there's times like employees and family members and all sorts of stuff that you might not open up and say everything that's going on. Yeah. But in an environment where there's, you know, other entrepreneurs that are going through very similar things. Yeah, man, it's so refreshing. So big shout out. That was, you know, the retreats are incredible. Anybody interested in them, it's freaking sick. Yeah, like it's sick, dude. Like not only is it great and productive for business, but man, to be in the woods, you know, the snowboard trips, like it's just awesome stuff, and you get to just build your you know, your business and self.
By the way, you better be coming to Alaska.
I heard about this Alaska trip. I am gonna do everything in my power. It's
gonna be epic.
It's different with the boys and the fam, but I'm gonna try and do everything that I can, man.
At least the snowboard one.
Yeah,
that's gonna be fun.
100%.
Anyway, nonetheless, Thank you for that commercial. I didn't pay him for the record.
Yeah.
He just said that.
Yeah. No,
10%
not at all.
later.
Under the table. No, shout out. Seriously, it is amazing. And hey, thank you for
brother.
having me. I really appreciate you having me on. This has been
course,
awesome.
man.
And just appreciate everything that you do. I think you add
Thank
a
you,
lot of
brother.
value. A lot of people out there,
Thank you, man.
trying to find their way, and happy hustling. The concept is so important because, dude, burnout is real.
It is.
And nowadays, you have to be able to find your balance, and
Yeah.
you have to be able to find your purpose and passion. And I think that you do a great job at that. So thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man. All right. Give us another couple of links where people can go.
Yep.
We got 4OCEAN.com.
Yep,
and then
the number 4, the word ocean.com,
Yeah.
so 4ocean.com, or just through social, send us a message, hit me up. Send me a message on social. Love to connect with anybody that wants to learn about sustainability, and happy to connect.
tie a bow on everything we talked about too. Like one, rally cry, will you?
Sure.
For everyone out there, who, is listening and watching.
Yep.
Give us a summation of 4OCEAN,
Yep.
using business as a force for good, in addition to just like the plastic pollution epidemic at large and how we can support.
I would say at the end of the day, it's progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Don't be intimidated by sustainability. The future is turning sustainable. We need to see it. We have to do it for us, for our future generations, for our families. Don't be intimidated by it. Take that easy step, whether it's with 4OCEAN or not with 4OCEAN. I don't care. Just go try and do something. Try and implement some form of sustainability in your business or in your personal life. The small acts really do add up, and you can have a massive impact at the end of the day, and just keep that conversation going.
Let's go, baby.
Sick, man.
Let's go. All right,
Appreciate
hold
it.
on. Final question as I ask everyone.
Yes.
What does happy hustling mean to you?
Happy hustling to me means finding the complete balance and finding, I know we've talked about so much, but finding your purpose and passion in life and being able to do that at which you can show up fully for yourself, for your family, for your employees, and just for your purpose overall. And doing that in a way that you can enjoy life.
Woo!
Yeah.
Let's go. Mic drop it. These
Yeah.
mics don't drop, but if they did, we would drop them. Alex Schultz,
Drop them, baby.
4OCEAN. Thank you again,
Of course.
everyone, for watching and listening. We are out. Peace and love, everybody.